Welcome, everyone, to Living in Faith. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartarone.
And I am your co-host, Pablo Sanchez.
Hello, Pablo. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So today's show, we're going to be talking about how do we keep that faith when we get tested and stay connected really to that hope and courage to keep going. I know, Pablo, you and I have been tested many, many times in our lives. And, just staying connected um, to God to show us the way and have faith and courage to keep going is so essential for us to grow. Is that correct? And overcome our obstacles.
Completely, Gigi. The big obstacle that you have right here is that people are lacking faith. People
Mm.
are truly, truly lacking faith. They think that they're here on their own, and it is based on their merits, what they do, that they can accomplish everything on and so forth. And that's a real shame. That's a real shame for people to feel that they're here all alone. When God has left you with the Holy Spirit, we have to help you make it through all of your hard times. And what I find is eh, you really have to, your faith has to be your anchor. It has to be your anchor. When you have that very strong faith, what happens is you feel that sense of calm that surpasses all understanding. All understanding. Um, I'm gonna share with you a story. Uh, uh, about 3 weeks ago, a cousin of mine in Ecuador. He comes from a family of pastors, and I wonder why this happened to him. He was ambushed, assaulted, robbed, everything, pretty much like the old Samaritan, and he was pretty much left for dead.
Wow.
And what happened next is he has been in a coma for 10 days. For 10 days, and here we're everyone's in prayer, thinking about him and everything else. And I declared that God was going to use him because his name is Rafael. Rafael was going to have a testimony to share with everyone as to how it is that his faith helped him overcome this thing. How the whole family, we have all been praying for him. So certainly, we have a situation right here that it is only through faith that this has happened. And 3 weeks ago, Gigi, and then they go through the whole motions. He's with this mask, breathing. They're helping him out, and then they're thinking when they're going to remove the mask, and then everything else. But lo and behold, yesterday he woke up, and now he knows who his brothers are. He knows who people that have come to visit him. He recognized them and everything else. Completely amazing. So, but this happens because you have a complete faith. You trusting in God. That God is. It is not because he came from a family of pastors. It's not because anything like that. It is through God's grace that we're seeing this miracle. It is really a miracle. But what you have right here, a very strong example of people making faith their anchor and knowing that for God, everything is possible. And that's why I said it out loud. I said that God's going to use him so he can give his testimony to everyone. See, God is out working right here with us, and that's why he did this. Uh, I mean, maybe I was supposed to share this
Trusting,
with.
right? It's trusting.
It
It's
is
trusting
trusting in
that,
God.
yes, that something will, help us to overcome the obstacles that we see, whatever that may be. If you're sick, if if you lost your job, if you're in a financial position that you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's trusting that is on your side.
We- we're talking about trust, right? And my mom is the first one. I mean, things have happened, right? My mom was saying, trust that there's a purpose behind every difficulty that comes your way, and you have to believe that you're not alone facing this. You're not alone facing this, and I I share with you about two
Share
months.
your mother's story. Share your mom, because that's what I have in my heart. Share your mother's story about her falling when you went on the trip.
And this past weekend was my weekend to take care of my mom.
Okay.
Uh, my mom had a stroke, and it left her whole left side paralyzed. Here's a lady. Here's a lady that when we used to walk to the subway, she walked faster than us. And here's a little lady like this, a little short lady, and she's got pa 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 pa. She walked faster than you and everything else. But so here she is. She has a stroke. Her whole left side is paralyzed. For someone that's not familiar with it, it really all of your muscles from the left side just dropped, and then she couldn't even talk. She couldn't even talk. Her mouth, everything dropped, and then for her trying to walk, dragging the muscles full, dragging her leg, dragging her arm, everything. Long story short, uh, uh, she wanted to go back to Ecuador to visit family. And I promised her that I was going to take her to Ecuador whenever after COVID. So here I am. Last year, I'm taking my mama to Ecuador. And then because of the long flight, we decided to do a stopover in Miami. So we stopped over in Miami, and she's still limping. She has the stroller, everything. And my wife is taking my mom to the bathroom when she's in the bathroom. My wife Martita wants to help her, and she's like, "No, no, no, leave me alone." So independent, leave me alone. Next you know, Martita's outside, and so boom, she falls down, and she falls down on her right side, on her good side, and then she begins putting on a show, yelling, ah, ah. And Martha goes and she gets me, and I walk into the ladies' room, and I said, Mom, if you want to go to Ecuador, you have to stop this. The police are right there, and you know what's going to happen, and they're going to take you, going to go to emergency, and by the time you go to emergency room and everything, you're already being Ecuador. So stop. So my poor mom, she's like, she stopped. She stopped. I was so much pain. I did not realize the pain she was going through. We landed in Ecuador, went straight to the emergency room. In the emergency room, the doctors, they wanted to operate on her and all this and that. And then the following day, the whole family is sitting around, and we're all talking about doctors' opinions and things like that. And then I said, wait a moment, everybody has said what you think should be done, but we have not asked God. Why don't we ask God what we're supposed to do? And Miguel, my cousin, who's a pastor and is the brother of Rafael, he said a prayer that, to me, my mom was already walking. What a powerful prayer he did. And then the rest of it is believing that it has already taken place. And my mom says, there's something good's got to come out of this, right? There's something good has to come out of this. And next you know, as I said, she could now move her left side. So now with her right side crippled, she started moving her left hand, and then she started eating with her left hand, like this. To
And
me,
she hasn't used her left hand.
she hasn't used her arm like for 4 or 5 years, and now she's moving it and she's feeding herself, and it's like, wow. If I did not witness a miracle right there and then, it's like, wow. And my mom, she says, something good's got to come out of this. So it happened to her. And this past weekend, I took care of her. She even, we did everything. I made her walk. I did everything with her. So, but she's walking now, and she can talk, which was something that did not happen. I can honestly say, so people that do. I have had other people that are even younger than my mom. My mom is going to be 90 now, and people younger than her, they just give up.
Yeah.
They just give up. But it's also, so it's all in your faith. I have to say my mom has a very strong faith, and I think that part of the reason why I'm here, I'm doing this right now, is because of my mom also. because when you pray, because it's not in my own doing. I know my mom is the one that's been praying for me to straighten up, for me to find God and everything else. And here I am. So now it's we're talking about faith, and a lot of people have do not have that strong faith. So, but you have to realize that it all begins with your thinking, and you have to change the way that you think.
And it's where there's fear, right? Because if they don't have the faith, they have the fear. Because you can't be in faith or fear at the same time. You got to pick one.
That is completely correct. But you have to say that right now. See, I grew up in the church also, but I can tell you when I grew up in the church, I did not take a Bible with me. I did not go over there take notes. I did not do any of those things that I see people doing now. Now that I'm also doing it now. Now I take my Bible, I take notes, everything. I record, I do everything now, and then I do take my time to read them after the fact also. So it's a very good practice. So now I'm actually getting to know God, right? You're really getting to know Him. So the idea is, if you do not change the way that you think, right? Everything starts with the way that you think. So you have to replace those thoughts that you have had in the past with, I would say, godly thoughts. And the only way to do it is to getting in reading the Bible and finding out God's character. God's character, he's awesome. He's a God that promised that He keeps all of His promises. I mean, once you start seeing that, it's like, wow. But then that's step number one. Step number two is you really have to have a community of believers, because when you have people over there that says, I did not understand this verse. Can you explain this to me? It's amazing. I had the opportunity 2 weeks ago, and this pastor, some pastors, they have slides and stuff like that. And this pastor was just like, boom, boom, boom. It's just like talking as I thought the Holy Spirit was right in front of me, and she was just talking like it. And they helping Martita and I understand. So when you're in community, you're with people that are in the same track, same train of thought that you are, trying to get to know God. And when you do that, it's a lot easier. What you find is that there's nobody there judging you or anything like that. Everybody's looking for the same thing. So when you're doing it with community, and you're finding you really, does strengthen your faith. Once you get into the straight, you have that really strong faith. What happens then is automatically you see God in all things that you do. Now, what happens to me, I ask God for anything. I ask Him for everything. And now I get up in the morning, God, let Your will be done, not mine. Tell me what it is that I'm supposed to do right now. And it really works. Gigi, things are happening right now that I couldn't do them on my own. I could not do them on my own. And once you have that strong faith, you stop really stressing. You stop stressing, and
Absolutely.
it's that peace that you cannot buy that peace. You cannot buy that peace. It's the peace that you get from knowing that God is in control. A lot of the things are in His timing, not in our timing. Not when we want, but when He says, that's what it is. And His timing is completely perfect. It's completely perfect. I know it. I know it because I can go through many things in my life that has happened, and why we should be doing this now.
It's true. We just have to trust the process, for sure. Let's switch over to our friends and tell them in Spanish what we just said.
Okay. Muy buenas noches. Buenas noches con este sol afuera, pero ya está tarde. Estamos hablando cuando la vida nos pone pruebas, que es importante mantener nuestra fe. Y es muy duro mantener nuestra fe, porque a veces hay mucha gente que tiene una fe muy tibia, no tienen fe porque simplemente han seguido tratando lo mismo y nada cambia. nada cambia. Entonces, tengo un primo que hace 3 semanas, él fue asaltado y le dejaron por muerto. Y él estaba en una coma por más de 10 días. Y ese proceso ha sido un proceso que lo que ha sucedido hasta acá es que hemos tenido una fe, que uno tiene que tener una fe que inquebrantable para poder ver lo que sucedió después. Él es en la coma, le tenían, no respiraba por sí mismo, le tenían con sus máscaras. Después había preguntas que, ¿qué pasa si le quitamos el aire? ¿Cuándo le quitamos el aire para ver si él puede respirar por sí mismo? Después esperando día tras día a ver si él iba a poder hablar, si iba a poder reconocer, porque cuando uno sale de una coma a veces ni se acuerda qué es lo que sucedió ni nada. Entonces, por la bendición de Dios, Rafael ya se despertó, reconoció a su familia, reconoció a sus amigos y él está en camino a la recuperación con terapia, con todo, pero primero con Dios adelante, todo va a estar bien. Ahora, Rafael, él es mi primo de parte de mi tía, ¿no? Pero mi tía fue casada con un pastor y de ahí toda la familia son pastores. Entonces, lo que sucede es que yo me pregunté cómo es que podía haber sucedido esto a una persona que ama tanto a Dios. ¿Cómo podía haber sucedido esto? Entonces, lo que yo definitivamente tuve en mente es que, y esto yo lo escribí en un grupo de WhatsApp que empezamos con la familia rezando para Rafael. Yo dije que hay un propósito atrás de todo esto. Y yo sabiendo la fe que tenía toda la familia, dije, Dios va a usar a Rafael para que dé su testimonio de que Dios está aquí con nosotros, que para Él todo es posible. Imagínense, 10 días dormido ahí en una coma y que ahora, ayer mismo, él se despertó y ahora ya está en, ya puede, reconoció a todos y todo. Es solamente, eso se llama un milagro de Dios. Y yo digo que la razón es porque Dios quiere usarle a él para que comparta con él, con el mundo entero, cómo Dios trabaja. Los milagros cada día, eso es un milagro lo que acaba de suceder aquí. Pero los milagros empiezan con su fe, Ahora, aquí nosotros nos criamos pensando de cierta manera. Yo sí me creé, yo estaba en la iglesia, todos los domingos estábamos en la iglesia, pero de toda verdad, yo no tenía mi propia Biblia, y tampoco cogía notas en la iglesia ni nada de eso. Entonces yo diría que yo tenía una fe media tibia o tal vez un poquito más fría que. Pero bueno, lo que sucede con eso es que cuando uno tiene esa clase de fe, uno tiene que ser intencional en separar tiempo diario para conocerle a Dios. Dios no va a venir a sentarse al lado de usted y decirle, mira, yo soy Dios, ¿no? No le va a decir eso. Usted tiene que ser intencional, tiene que leer las escrituras, tiene que abrir su Biblia y tiene que empezar a conocerle a Dios. Entonces, aquí vamos a un poquito más. Si yo quiero decir, Dios, yo te amo, o a su novia quiere decirle, yo te amo, a su novio le quiere decir, yo te amo. Primero, usted tiene que conocerle a la persona. Usted tiene que conocerle para decirle, yo te amo. ¿Okay? Aquí, de igual manera, Tal vez usted piensa que es así, pero usted tiene que coger su tiempo, pasar tiempo con Dios, ¿cierto? Cuando uno ama a una persona, uno le saca ahí, pasa tiempo con ellos, se van a comer, se van a las películas, hacen muchas cosas juntas. Y después cuando ven que todo está en armonía y todo está bien, ahí por ahí de repente sale un yo te quiero, ¿no? De igual manera, y usted, con tiempo, usted sigue saliendo con la persona y con tiempo ve que la persona no cambia. La persona esa no cambia. Entonces ahí usted dice, sí, yo te quiero, ¿no? Y después ve como esa persona reciproca todo lo que usted dice, le trae flores, esto, el otro. Entonces, wow, esta persona sí me quiere. De igual manera, si usted pasa tiempo con tratando de conocer a Dios, leyendo su Biblia, cuando usted hace eso, usted va a conocer la fidelidad de Dios. La fidelidad de Dios. Dios cumple con todo lo que Él dice. De igual manera, ese libro, la Biblia, no es un libro antiguo, nada de eso. Todo eso trabaja en este momento. Acabo de decirles del milagro que acaba de suceder con mi primo. Y también yo he dicho aquí antes lo que sucedió con mi mamá. Mi mamá se cayó, tuvo un derrame, estaba al lado izquierdo todo, se cayeron todos los músculos y ella dice que no hay mal que bien no venga. Eso fue así. Y ahora y no podía, imagínense, no podía ni hablar, tenía la boca chueca, de todo, no podía moverse, arrastraba su pie, sus manos. Entonces yo le prometí a ella que cuando termine COVID que le iba a llevar al Ecuador. Entonces estamos en camino al Ecuador y estamos con mi esposa, como es un camino largo, hicimos escala en Miami. Estamos en Miami, le vamos a llevar al baño. Mi esposa le va a llevar al baño, la Martita le lleva y cuando está en el baño, mi mamá, un poquito necia, y dice, no, déjame, ya. Entonces le deja y no pasa ni 10 segundos y ¡pum! Se cae y se cae en el lado derecho. El lado izquierdo es el que se quedó, estaba mal. No había movido su lado izquierdo ya como por 4 años. Entonces lo que sucede después es, puede ser una historia larga, pero bueno, lo que hicimos es a mi mami, ella después coge su mano izquierda, como ya no puede moverse, empieza ahí a comer con la mano izquierda, empieza a comer así. Entonces ahí yo vi ese milagro, yo sabía que Dios estaba aquí y mi mamá es la que dice, es la fe de mi mamá. Entonces todos nosotros tenemos que tener esa clase de fe. Usted piensa en cualquier momento en su vida cómo algo que usted no podía hacerlo, lo logró hacerlo, algo que usted tiene ahora y lo tiene. Solo todo es por la gracia de Dios. La gracia de Dios es algo muy, muy lindo, pero vamos a tener otra oportunidad para seguir hablando, ¿ok? So, you have to cut her off, Gigi.
I know, such a beautiful story, but the essence of having faith and holding on to it is really the only thing that can guarantee us that something's going to help us that's greater than us, right? So I love, staying connected to our faith, and believing that we will receive whatever it is that we need here on this earth to accomplish what we need to accomplish.
Y la otra cosa aquí, todo es posible y se hace hasta mejor. Su fe puede fortalecerse hasta más cuando lo hace en comunión con otros creyentes. Cuando está con otros creyentes, nadie le va a murmurar ni nada porque todos quieren conocer el carácter de Dios. Es lo más lindo, hacerlo todo en comunidad.
Well, I'm sure that message, I couldn't understand it, but I'm sure it's at the end is hold on to your faith, stay connected, because that's the way we can move on in life without staying in the dark. It's getting into the light is having faith. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Pablo, for your wisdom for today. And until next time, I'm your host, Giovanna Tartarone.
I am your co-host, Pablo Sanchez. A pleasure. Thank you, Gigi.
Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.